Day 2. I'm documenting my journey of transformation. One of the hardest things about this entire journey, I believe at this point, is acknowledging where I'm at and just getting comfortable with that. When I look at the person that I'm looking to become, somebody that is relentless, someone that acknowledges difficulty and hardship with a smile on his face and just eats that and says, yo, bring some more. I don't really care about what you bringing to me. It's difficult to imagine that person knowing where I am right now. And it's not to say that I don't value where I am as a person. Not at all. It's not to demean myself and to say that I'm not working hard enough, that I'm not doing enough. Part of that could be true. Part of that is true. But that's not what it's about. It's not a matter of demeaning oneself. It's not a matter of saying that my efforts are not good enough. It's a matter of knowing where I am right here, right now, fully objectively, and then making a path towards the area of life that I wish to become, I wish to be at. It becomes explicitly more difficult because I know where I've been. I know the mentality that I've carried before. And I know how hard it was to get there the first time. So getting there again is like, yeah, you gotta work. It's like double the work, because now it's doing the work, but then thinking about doing the work, which makes it that much more difficult. But I think this is all part of the process. And I'm learning each and every single day to acknowledge and accept that this is part of the process, to accept that this difficulty, this pain, this anguish that I feel in my heart, this inherent feeling of insufficiency that I feel, even just to dream the dreams that I have, to accept it. Because at the end of the day, when you have a dream that is big enough, it should make you feel uncomfortable. My dream is very simple. It's really about becoming the man that I know I am. It's not centered around building financial independence, though that is something that I want. It's not centered around getting a car, getting my own place. It's not centered around all those things. It's centered around becoming the person, the man that is capable of acquiring all of these things and more. Because I've seen that this is, quite frankly, the most important thing. This is the only thing that matters. Becoming somebody that is able to withstand adversity, have a high tolerance for it, and be able to respond appropriately in the moment. This is ultimately the most important thing to take into consideration. And I also want to address this nagging feeling. So I'll give you an example. So I have my clipboard over here. I'm just pull it up right now. Right? This is what I use to basically write out all of my ideas, all the things I need to do so that I can implement into a lesson plan. Because as I said before, I'm a teacher, right? And every time I sit down to go and do the work, to get the lesson plan done and just knock it out, this nagging feeling that just pops up. And I'm doing this because I want to name it. Because I'm not sure if any of you have gone through this specifically. I'm sure someone has, because this is a common human feeling. But this nagging feeling that comes up, and it surrounds anything I have to do concerning performance. Even just making this video, sometimes I'm thinking about it like, you know, I gotta put in this, I gotta make sure. That's why I'm not doing anything crazy. All I got is a simple tripod. I put it up here, and I got, like, I cleaned up my background a little bit from the last one. I put up my flag, you know, Nigerian Independence Day, October 3rd, you know what I'm saying? Hat. Anyways, like simple things, just so I could just focus on getting to the action. Because that's all that matters. However, with this, I always feel this resistance. And that resistance, I named it as that anxiety. And that anxiety, which is surrounded by the feeling of needing to be perfect. So my message at this point is, let action be perfection. Every single thing that happens in this life, regardless of the magnitude by which it comes, is done through action. Microsoft, Apple, this microphone, which for some reason I'm not using, like, are all of these devices or things that have been created perfect? Depends on what you mean by perfect. Is this video perfect? No. But guess what? It's here. Is this lesson plan that I'm creating going to be perfect? Depends on what you mean by perfect. I think that perfection is found in the path, taking that journey and consistently growing. That is where perfection is found. Anything outside of that just seems to be just a way to drag your feet, looking to get more information in order to do this one thing. I set the plan out to go and complete these lesson plans back on Friday. Today is Sunday. Guess how many lesson plans I've done yesterday? 0. But I sure as heck scaffolded what I wanted to do. I got everything that I want to do for week 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? The way that I want to give my students the information, I got that broken down. But is it really done? No, it's not. And it's because I'm looking to get the best results, the most optimal results all the time. And this is part of why I'm doing this. Because the mentality that I'm aiming to foster, that I want to show the world that this is my process of getting there, and to also hold myself accountable, is that it doesn't matter how much you think you know before you start. The most important thing is that you just start, that you just keep going, because consistency is more valuable than you having all the right answers. You having all the right answers but not implementing any of the answers is just basically the same thing as not having any of the answers at all. Because what was the point of you collecting all that information if you weren't going to use it? Right? To be paralyzed by the fear of things not going the way you wanted to go, then what was the point of you even deciding to embark on the journey in the first place? To say that you had an idea, to say that you had a dream, but you didn't want to go through with it. You see how it doesn't make sense? We have so many great ideas, and the great ideas that we have are silenced by the spirits of fear, anxiety, and worry. This is a very spiritual battle. This life is very, very spiritual. Because think about it. Does it take much effort to sit down and press record? Does it take much effort to go outside and walk? Depending on your circumstances, it may take a lot of effort. But for the things that are within your direct control, does it take much effort to just raise your arm, to go do a stretch or two, to go and think about what you want to do next, to go and write down your plan, your vision? Oftentimes, it's not about the action itself. It's about the battle that takes place before the action, and that's rooted in the spiritual nature of the life that we live. The conversations, the voices that you deal with every single day, these are the things that we ought to focus on. It's not about optimizing our processes. It's not about making ourselves to be more efficient. Like, yeah, we could have more conversations about like getting to that stage of life, about making things more optimal. But I think for a lot of us, it's not even about that aspect of life. It's more about, what are you doing? Like, what exactly is inhibiting you from getting this far? And a lot of it just goes back down to, oh, past traumas. When I did this, this happened, right? You get into an accident, now you're afraid to drive. You had a training incident, now you're afraid to play the sport that you were playing before. These things happen, and now it's in your mental plane. Now it has become a spiritual battle. But it's not about the physicality of it more often than not. It's more about what happens in here. The goal of this is to redirect our focus and understand where our battle is. A lot of the time, the battle is not outside, it's inside. For me, I can say that like 99% of my battles were never outside of me. Because the things that were outside of me, I've conquered them. But it's getting myself to take that step that I'm addressing, which is always about mentality. What is happening over here? And what can I do to absolve myself of that fear of performance, of that worry, of that anxiety, of that guilt, of that shame, wherever it comes from? What can I do to say, no, I'm not sticking by this, and I'm gonna move forward? I enrolled myself in Muay Thai because I wanted to get over this fear of performing, of this fear of taking action. So it's one of the most violent martial arts I could find. So I just say, all right, bet, I'm gonna just do this. I'm over here kicking the bag. My shin still hurts. That was on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not Wednesday. That was Thursday. That's cap. No. I'll get into another time. But the fact of the matter is, there is a focus on the battles that we're facing. And when we're able to define what our problem is and how we can face it more uprightly and head on, instead of trying to maneuver our way around it. Like, I was about to stand up and go to the store and get myself an energy drink. I'm like, y'all don't even drink energy drinks. Because I was looking for a way to avoid it. There's only one way to get stronger. And it's just by doing the thing. And you may feel insecure in your ability to do the thing right now, and that's okay. It's a normal human emotion. It's a normal human feeling. But it doesn't change the fact that by doing the thing, you become more equipped to do the thing. I'll keep you guys updated on my journey. Keep me updated on yours. MasteringTheMohment.